3. Athletes are starting to show a little fatigue in my estimation. A lot of grumbling about all the high skill events and all the gymnastics stuff.
And another no rep. He did not get to depth there.
6. Bozman there.
Today there are no gymnastics movements, 0. They have 3 efforts, 0 gymnastics movements, so show me.
It is a beautiful day for a CrossFit pool party.
Fight tooth and nail, get every fucking point available, okay?
And Mal O'Brien is not going away easily.
The athletes are putting on a show.
Roman Krennikov is starting to open up a lead. He's got to keep his balance. Gerard will do it, and Medeiros will do it.
My goodness.
I don't think the people in this arena want this to end right now.
Show me that the reason you're not at the top is because you got a hard roll of the dice on some skill that you couldn't do. Now's your opportunity to prove it.
Ask her how she says good morning.
Our mornings always go. I walk in at 8:21. Jake comes in. What time? Like 8:28.
Yeah.
I say morn. He says morn. Matt comes out a few minutes later. How you guys feeling? Good, good. And then silence for a little bit.
Except no matter how Mal's feeling, she'll always answer Matt with good.
Yeah, even if
she'll
I feel
tell
like
me,
trash.
and we'll be like, oh yeah, oh beat up today, like whatever. And then Matt will come in, she'll be like, I feel good. I'm like, what?
Because I don't train a lot, and if I don't feel good, he'll make me do smart training.
She's like, yeah, if I'm overtrained, he'll take volume away, and I don't want that.
Please take a little
It was like
away.
2 weeks ago. I was like, Mal, how are your lungs feeling? Great. First interval, passes out. I was like, all right, we're done. Get in the car, going to the hospital.
Make an adjustment.
Wait, did you actually have to go to the hospital?
Yeah, we had a unique lead up to the games this year.
I don't know if she feels pain. Like, she just goes and just keeps going. And then, even after that, you know, we go to the hospital for 4 hours, come back. She's like, all right, what are we doing this afternoon for training? It's like, no, Mal, we are not training right now.
They're doing a swim down and back 25 for a total of 50 yards. They have a timeline to do that in. It's 2 minutes. And in that time when they get back, they have a set number of calories they're going to be pulling on the skier. 7th and 8th round, those are the last 2 rounds. If they make it that far, they turn into as many calories as they can pull in that time.
I was a Scottish junior record holder for 400 metre 100 free. Swam open water for GB at Junior Europeans and Junior Worlds.
The guys who are good swimmers are also, a lot of them are good on ski. Right? Similar stroke, so a lot of those guys can ski well, so it's going to be hard to beat the good swimmers.
Donna, who's the better swimmer, you or Lazar?
I am.
Who's the better skier, you or Lazar?
I am.
He did swimming when he was younger in his hometown. He's a good swimmer, I think. But we'll see. You'll see after this event.
Beautiful Saturday in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's a great day for a pool day.
Adrian Bozman, he had teased it for a while. There was going to be one test at the CrossFit Games where it didn't matter if you were a teen, a masters, adaptive athlete in the open division, the teams as well. We're all going to do the exact same thing just to see where everybody falls.
Rich, how does it feel to be back in the pool 10 years later? I had to ask.
Way better. Way better. I don't feel like I'm going to drown. I have nightmares about that.
I think everyone by the end is going to be within, I'm going to say like 3 to 5 seconds of each other from the pool. So it'll come down to this.
Have fun. 39 points out of a podium spot is the 5th place team from Iceland, Iceland Annies, CrossFit Reykjavik. $530 calories for Mayhem Freedom combined.
Unreal.
I think we got second, but you know, I want to win one, so.
The 8th of 13 events for the individuals. We're going to do some rinsing, and then we're going to repeat.
And I said during Heat 1 of the men is how far we've come in a decade. And that's not a lot of time when you think about sport and nearly the evolution of the athletes themselves. And all of them out here are doing a much better job at handling the swim than they have in years past.
And Roman Krenikov is loving every minute of this. The first time he has been able to compete at the CrossFit Games in person, and he is making the most of it.
And it's really hard to judge who's going to be successful because really you could be the first one out of the pool, you could be the first one off in the 8 cows, but it doesn't matter. These rounds are not for time. What these rounds are doing is taking energy away from the end. Ski all the way up to the 14-minute mark and then maybe do one more pull before you jump in the water.
Final round. Max cows from here on out. 124, the top scorer. Lucy Campbell leads at 114. 20 seconds left, and Roman Krenikov is starting to open up a lead. Krenikov is now pulling at nearly a 1,900 calorie per hour rate. Barnhart and Horvath look like they're going to run out of time, so Lucy Campbell is going to pick up the event win in rinse and repeats. Final seconds, Roman Krenikov looking to lock up the event win. And Roman Krenikov is going to do it! 160 for Roman Krenikov! Yeah, Roman, you did it, man! His second career event win. His first, though, in front of a live audience.
Woo. Very fast. Yeah, easy event. Easy. Thank you, buddy.
The all-division test. That was something that had come to me early that I was thinking it would be really cool to have every athlete experience the same thing. If you're good enough to qualify to the CrossFit Games, you deserve an awesome experience where you are going to be tested in a way that you might not be able to get tested anywhere else. And so it's really important to me that that was true across all divisions. And all of that within the bounds of like, it has to be right for the test, it has to be right.
Boy, that was a great event by Adrian Bozman.
An exciting way to put it together and a great addition to the test of fitness for sure.
But we've never done a true across-the-board, men, women, young, old, adaptive, team, individual. Everybody's doing the same thing in exactly the same way. That's never been done. So I was proud to pull that one off. You know, the different divisions that we have, I think it's important people understand that you can pursue this thing no matter where you are in life and no matter what your circumstances.
I think it's great to have the masters there because it shows how fit people can be later in life. And for the older age group divisions, it's showing what's possible, you know, what it means. And when you see these people demonstrating what's possible, it reminds people that there's a lot more in the tank.
It's not rare for somebody in their 20s to be relatively fit, but when you're 55, 60, etc., and you've made a commitment over decades to stay in the game, I mean, that's huge. I don't think people realize how difficult that is with the demands of life. So to have a group of people that are committed to that and can show what's possible with that, it's very important to me to showcase that. I think it's totally inspiring. I say all the time to those guys, I'm like, I want to be you when I grow up.
For the adaptive athletes, I think it's important to welcome a new community into CrossFit. This is an extraordinarily accessible sport, and the adaptive community really has shown that with more people coming in, they didn't want this to just be a participatory sport. They wanted to show what was possible, redefining what able-bodiedness means, and they were competing for gold medals. For the teenagers, it's all about the future. And it's about giving them a small dose of that magic that is the CrossFit Games. So it's preparing them to take the stage later and really becoming a developmental opportunity for young athletes.
The CrossFit Games for me, when I think about it, has always been, it is what's possible in our community. And it's only appropriate that we have athletes that are in the individual category and the team category, but also athletes that represent the community, that have a little bit of gray hair, that have some physical challenges or need to adapt movements, and that are up-and-coming athletes for our future. I think it's important for that expression to be recognized and to be championed because they look like and represent the people that we see every day in our affiliate, and to not have them there would do disservice to what's happening every day in the gyms that are worldwide.
Get on your feet and put your hands together for the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games Age Group and Adaptive Fittest Athletes on Earth.
come into individual 9. And this one's a little bit tricky because we have all 40 athletes on the field at once. The concept is we race every 3 minutes. Continual races. Go, go, go.
You look at this on paper and there's nothing hard. 20 wall ball shots, 6 dumbbell snatches with some sprinting in between, no problem. 12-foot target though for the men, 11-foot target for the women. How fast can you go without screwing up?
Tia Claire Toomey continues to put distance between herself and the 2 teenagers chasing her, Mal O'Brien and Emma Lawson.
It's pretty short, but it's kind of one of those workouts that like not a lot of mistakes you can make, so just execute well.
And when's the last time we saw this? Just 22 points separating first from third in the men's overall standings.
Just jump all of them.
Yeah, just get them high. Don't try to like, don't barely make it. Just
it's too high to like try to finesse it to like, oh, don't throw too high and you risk it at the bottom. Just aim high. Good.
This is a pressure cooker of an event. These athletes cannot win it on any single element, but you can lose it on any one of them. It's hard to make up time with any of these, but if you miss, you're going to be behind, and that's the hardest thing about this.
Ellie Turner was the first woman to the 70-pound dumbbell. She has cleared her 2 sets of 2, and now she has 1 final set, and she'll be able to sprint to the finish. Now your score is your cumulative time through the 3 rounds, and Turner's across in about 1:17.
Being in the first heat, I wasn't going to be able to see what the second heat's times were before I went. So I just had to go as fast as I could and, you know, hope that was going to be enough.
Justin Medeiros can grab a win in this event. If things stay the way they are, there's a very good chance he could finally peel that white jersey off of Ricky Garrard's back.
We're at a 12-foot target for wall balls, which is just something that's super, super different. We're all used to that cadence of that 10-foot wall ball, kind of like how that ball feels going up and coming down and the speed of the squat, but you increase that by 2 feet and there becomes a huge precision aspect to it.
Medeiros still in the lead as here comes Garrard.
And Medeiros has one of the best overhead positions in the men's field.
None of that's hard for them, but to race each other like that and to not make an error, it's crazy. If you got 1 no rep, you lost. If you dropped the dumbbell or stumbled, you lost. The pressure that was on these athletes to perform 3 times in a row, that type of execution, I've never seen. And it was amazing.
After the first interval, I knew I could pick up the pace just a little bit more and just attack it that little bit extra, and was lucky enough to come home with the win.
Final round is underway. Sprint down the field and then the 20 wall balls.
And there's a miss right off the bat.
Second time that Toomey has missed her first wall ball shot.
She just got another one. That's 3.
So it's O'Brien off first, but Tia Toomey getting left behind here.
Mal's been right on her heels each round.
O'Brien is done and she will take off, and here comes Danielle Brandon.
That was fun.
Toomey winds up finishing in 9th place in the heat.
And this is exactly the pitch that Adrian Bozman was trying to throw. Can you get it within this window? No room for error. Consequences. Going too fast, getting out of your skis a little bit, 1 lapse. That's what happens out there, and that's exactly what Adrian is shooting for.
Ricky Garrard has been your overall leader for this entire competition. Justin Medeiros may have just changed that.
That's the most fun I've had all weekend. Like, watching that is awesome.
I came into the games feeling confident, and then, you know, you have a few like bad events and it's a little bit disheartening. I didn't feel like I could really showcase everything that I'd been working on. So to go out there and like really test like some strengths for me and like see where they stack up against the rest of the field, and to come out on top is just like it's amazing. Best feeling.
That was just exciting. You know, it's just an all. It
wasn't like hard. It was just more pressure to execute.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think it's as like physically demanding. It's like, but you need to be perfect.
Yeah.
And you were perfect.
Payload is the event, and it is apropos.
We have
a tumbler that weighs 450 pounds, 600 pounds for the men, jerry cans, Husafel bag, and then the Big Bob.
Watching the event team bring this out here, it took 4 to 6 of them to bring these out onto the field. So shout out to them, and these are going to be heavy in this event.
Well, every year there's certain events, usually in the team division, that in order to test the teams with heavy tests, you have to load it up because there's 4 athletes per team. That just means there's a lot of weight on the field of play.
The pressure last year was on Mayhem because it was, could anybody beat Mayhem? This year, it was, could Reykjavik beat Mayhem? Stumbled on day 1, they fought back into the fold.
They are only 18 points out from podium position, and they have put their foot on the gas, and they are not lifting it up.
And so the fittest teams in the world are moving them in one direction, and then they're done, and they're completely exhausted. And in less time than it took the fittest people to move it, it has to be reset so that the next heat can run on time.
Team event 9, there is per lane 2.5 tons of gear that's going to end up down here that I need to get back to here in 10 minutes.
We borrow volunteers from other judging teams, from the age groupers, the teams, as well as the individual judges.
How many can I get from fan experience? If I can get a rough number right now, it would be great. Rogue, I would like to know a rough number that you could dedicate. 25. Damn, they come in with the big bets. Do I hear a 30? Does anybody have a 30 out there?
They all came together, and under pretty darn good leadership, were able to get the equipment necessary on the floor to move all of the heavy stuff off, and did it in, I think, record time as well.
Reykjavik has really backed up an early 30th place with a second, a third, and a third in the last 4. Only problem for everyone, the last 4 events, first, and first for the team in white. And if they win this one, Mayhem Freedom will equal last year's CrossFit Games record, 5 consecutive event wins.
It's hard to fathom how difficult it is to run the CrossFit Games, and there's so many moving pieces that all have to run on time. Rolling out the barbells, getting the judges on the right field of play, the handheld scorers, the chip timing, the broadcast. Any of those pieces by themselves has its own complications, but when you bring all those pieces together and they have to line up in the exact right moment to make sure you capture the performance and you can tell the story as well, it's what creates like the magic of the CrossFit Games.
Time to beat 8:22, coming up close, but Mayhem will get across in time. 5 consecutive event wins. That is a CrossFit Games record.
Right here, let me get the 160. Why don't you guys grab that, and let's start at 200 for the men. So let's just pick it up and dump it a little further down, give them some room to struggle. All right, athletes, you guys ready to hear what you're doing? We're gonna start with an arbitrary low quote weight, 1 for men, 1 for women. Everybody get a crack at it. Once they've all had a crack at it, cool, we'll bring out the next weight. Everybody will take a crack at it. And we'll just keep going until you're like, I think I've had enough, or I can't do it. Sound good?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I like the big lift format. We've done a clean, we've done a snatch. They had heavy jerks early in the competition. This is something that people won't have specifically tested most likely. And so it's a, I don't know, kind of a broad application of strength, not just a specific barbell strength. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. The crowd's gonna go nuts, I think. What does it mean to test strength? What is strength? Right. You know what I mean? Like, as an athlete, like, how would you want to be tested on strength? When you're ready to go, let's have you start lining up back here. Okay, first lifter's up. Go ahead and lift. Oh, all day. Oh, yeah. We're jumping at 220 for you guys, okay? Nice job, gentlemen. Let's go. Man, she rips that thing off the ground. Oh. Look at what we already got going on your left here. See what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be nuts. Yeah!
Nice. Yeah, CC. Thank you guys. That was awesome. That wasn't any fun, right? Not fun to watch?
Allie, check that. All of the ladies go, and then all of the gentlemen go.
Got it.
If he asks for more bodies, then we'll just make it work. Okay?
They announced like probably a week before the games that it was going to be like a big lift Saturday. So I think we were all kind of expecting some kind of huge like barbell event.
We're gonna lift heavy. We're not gonna lift the barbell.
And then they threw the sandbag at us and no one was expecting that.
Come down a bear, hug it, and then inch it up, but that's a rough way to do it.
We had like a strong man come brief us and I think we were all just like a little bit clueless going into the event on what to do. The whole time I was just like on YouTube looking at videos like the most efficient way to lift a sandbag because I had no idea.
I don't really know how I feel about it yet, but you can only lift so much, so just go out and do your best, you know. That'll be good.
It's tricky. Everyone's learning it right now. Are you good? Are you going 60, 70, 80?
Yeah.
What Boz has said over and over again, which I totally agree with, is it's not the test, it's the athletes. Like, we program something that is difficult and broad so that when the athletes knock that out of the park, they're really the heroes.
Going into that event, I was extremely nervous just because this time last year was the exact time that I had dislocated my elbow. So just going into another max strength event, I was honestly extremely nervous and just like scared to get hurt again. I don't know about easy. Still new at this.
And then as he's down here in the lap, get that arm kind of cupped under here, launch from the hips, and then guide it around. Yeah, thank you. See, you know, some guys just pick it up a little faster than others. The big separator is going to be over 300 pounds because all these guys are strong enough to muscle anything up until then, you know. But over 300 is going to be the mark, I think, that with the separator.
So when I was first told about the Saturday night strength test, anyone you talked to that demoed this was like, this is gonna be one of the most epic Saturday nights we've ever had. And I'll be honest, about 5 rounds in, I was like, I don't see it. I mean, I see people lifting sandbags, and then it got heavy.
But the crazy thing is, Sean, she's in the exact same spot at which we saw her a year ago. And now she's out there just fighting.
And Brooke Wells is almost there. And Wells has it.
After that event, I was just like very relieved and confident that like I was ready for anything at this point.
You have Danny who's just crushing this sandbag. It was unbelievable to watch her out there.
We'll just wait for the weight to get heavier for Danny Spiegel. Dahlstrom weighs 148. It's almost 100 pounds more than her.
We need a little Jacqueline Dahlstrom. I think I said in the broadcast.
There's a Dahlstrom and a half in the bag right now. And she's trying to lift it to her shoulder.
Just doing whatever it took to just inch. And that's when the crowd starts to rise up with it. As the bag gets higher and higher and higher.
This girl is amazing!
Danny Spiegel takes the Sandbag Ladder.
Fill it up again.
That was when the women went. And then the dudes come out.
Roman is almost there. And Roman Krenikov is through. Ricky is inching his way there. He's got to keep his balance. He's got to keep his balance. Gerard will do it, and Medeiros will do it. No one is sitting down in this building right now.
Nor should they. My goodness.
And that, students, is how you do that.
And we're getting to the last bag. We're like, what do we do? What's gonna happen?
I get the call a few minutes later, Boz, there's still like 16 athletes. We only have a couple bags left. And I was like, well, let's see how it plays out. I don't have a solution. Train's leaving the station. What are you gonna do? And then like 3 minutes later, we have a 350. I'm like, yes. So I walked back a house and said, hey man, just wait for my signal. We'll bring it out. It was great.
I think they're bringing another bag out. They're wheeling another one out here. I don't know how much that thing weighs. Hopefully it's 350.
That 350 bag came out. And miss, and then here comes Brent Fikowski. And like, someone's gotta get it. And Brent gets it to the lap, starts inching it up, and he's right here. And then me, Sean, Dan Bailey, we're like one more. Just one more heave. And then I watch his arm come off, and like to a man, we're like, no, you're so close. You come down after the final bag, and nobody hits it, but we have this tiebreaker between Guy Majeros, Brent Fikowski, and Nick Matthew. They toss the bags. Guy jumps on the platform, but doesn't get past where the line actually is. It's not just on the platform, it's into. And Nick Matthew comes out of nowhere, and they freaking tie on the chip timer. 8.23 seconds.
What? It's a tie between Matthew and Majeros.
As if the night couldn't get any more exciting. The tiebreaker was the perfect nightcap to Saturday night. That whole event was amazing. It lived up to the billing and more. That went better than what was billed to me. And expectations are a really hard thing to meet, but to exceed those was incredible. Saturday night at the Coliseum. Awesome.
On the next, miles to Madison.
I know you're hurt. Everybody's fucking hurt.
I knew I had to do everything in all those events.
The points on the last day were getting pretty close.
A year of preparation, a week of competition.
Crazy 6 months, crazy 5 days.
Now it's just the final one.
We are still pushing for that podium.
It became more than just a team.
The mile has to get gritty on this.
I hope that I inspire people. Any mistakes you make in life, it's not what defines you.
He's back, he made it. It's an incredible redemption story.
Never give up on your dreams.
Talk about the dogfight we've had all weekend. Justin, Ricky, Roman.
The CrossFit community has been waiting a long time to see you.
The long events were longer than they ever were. The heavy events were heavier than they ever were.
The quest to find the fittest is coming to an end.
Kind of came down to who wanted it more at that point.
Let's try to go out of here with a fucking bang.